Hi friends, Kelly here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am working on some ephemera for two projects. I'm working on some ephemera for Case Closed Folio and for Field Notes Folio. So let's get started. Okay, so I have a lot of different things out on my desk here, and I want to tell you that you can do this with absolutely none of this. So I'm going to show you how I've put mine together, what I've used, but I have some alternatives because I think that this should be a project that anybody can do with the most simple things. And if you have a lot of this stuff like I do, you also should be using it. So this is kind of gonna run the range of you have a lot of product to play with and you have no product to play with. So I'll kind of walk you through 2 different, 3 different, 100 different options. I don't even know. So let's just take a moment to look at our little bits here. So what I have 3 for Case Closed. I have 2 for, oh, this one's still kind of wet. 2 for Field Notes Folio. If you're unsure of which projects these are, I will make sure they are linked below. Field Notes Folio is a new project I just started. Case Closed I have been working on for over a year and I need to finish it. So that is kind of the goal here, is to get some stuff to put in there. Okay, so here's what I have. These are little slides, basically. So they're little slides, like specimen slide kind of things, or photo slides, or whatever we're calling these. And I have basically followed I don't know if it was a tutorial so much as I'm inspired by Crafty by Tony. Crafty by Tony. Why I can't get anybody's name right, I am so sorry. She did a video back in October probably, because I think it was Halloween themed for her, using this technique. And so I thought it was so brilliant. I was very inspired. I actually made this one and this one at that time and thought I have to film my own video because I want to share this and my version of it. And then life got busy. So here I am finally in March working on it. So I have these little slides. I have ones with criminals, mugshots. That's what I was trying to come up with, that word. I could not get it earlier. And then these ones are more of like field notes, specimens, or things found in the wild. So let me show you how I got the images, what I used to get those, and then some alternative ideas, and then we'll kind of start talking through all of the different tools that I've used, and I'll give you some alternative ideas. Okay, here's what I have on my desk that I have printed. I printed these a long time ago because clearly I tried to do this back in the fall. But I still have it sitting around. So this is also a great motivator for you. If you need somebody to tell you, get back to that project that you left sitting, because that's what I'm doing today. I'm coming back to a project that I have left sitting around for a very long time. I want to finish it. I want to make these. So here's what I have. I have items that I have printed onto transparency. Okay, this is Criminal Type from Art House Whimsy. It's on here somewhere. So I'm not really sure how well the camera is gonna pick up. There's probably a lot of glare, but hopefully you can kind of see. There are just all of these really creepy mugshots and photos like that. So they're so cool and creepy. Like, who made these? Where did these come from? Are these real criminals, or was this like a photo shoot? I kind of want to know. I also kind of don't want to know. So I have printed them on transparency. I have also printed them onto vellum. This is vellum here, and this is, I think, the one that was up here in this corner. So that is on vellum. Now, my printer didn't love this, so you can see these ones up here are really distorted. Hopefully you can kind of see that. If I was doing Halloween, that would be perfect because it's super duper creepy because the guy's face is all blurred out, but I will not be using that one. That creeps me out. And then I have this version here I printed onto tracing paper. So this is just tracing paper that I actually glued with glue stick. No, this one I taped. I taped this sheet. I cut it down a little bit. This is 8.5 by 11. I cut it down and then I just taped this paper right down. So I know I'm not going to use this top version. And that's fine for me for this project, but I had all these other versions here. So that is the criminal ones. So I wanted to show you this because if you are doing something like case closed and you've stumbled across my case closed folio and you are doing something in that same kind of genre and theme, I definitely wanted to share this resource with you. So again, this is Art House Whimsy. I will make sure it is linked below. It is a very cool printable, but I'm also doing field notes, right? So let's see for that. Oh, and here's one more. I'm gonna do one with her today. She's cool. Let's see. I also have some pretty butterflies and pressed flowers for my field notes. I just got super distracted because there's some chipmunks outside playing and they are so cute. So destructive around my house, but so cute. Okay, so this is printed again onto transparency. So I've got some pressed flowers, or at least that's what I'm imagining it to be. Some urns. Those are not urns. Those are ferns. Wow. And some butterflies or moths. Again, who can tell? And then I have another little piece here. And then this page is actually just on regular paper. This is matte photo paper. This page came from the Junk Journal Studio. This is the Entomology and Botanicals page out of, I can't remember what the name of this collection is. Again, linked below. This was one of the very first digitals I bought when I kind of got into this whole junk journal world, and I absolutely adore it. This one is designed so that you have mirror images. So like you can see here, this, whatever this is, wasp, maybe. If you look closely, you'll see that there's like a little bit of red on the wing. Well, it's on the right here, but it's on the left here, and they're the same size. So you can fussy cut these out, and then you can sandwich them together. And then you have a mirror image on either side. So these bugs are another great option. So you don't have to print on transparency, you don't have to print on tracing paper, and you don't have to print on vellum. You can print on regular old paper, fussy cut out, and there you go. So that is one of the other things I'm gonna do, is do some bugs. Now, because the bugs are, let me pull that back out, paper, right? And I want to cut it out so you get that double-sided image. I need something to sandwich in here to close it up and keep it in there. So I have a couple options here. This is just a piece of packaging from any sort of store-bought ephemera or whatever it is you have. So this is just the acetate packaging. That will work. This is a heavier duty plastic sleeve that I have from a stamp set. I just have a bunch of these. It's a lot thicker and a little more cloudy, but this would work too. So think of like a page protector from an album, or any sort of packaging like that. You could probably even get away with using like a sandwich bag. Just something you can make sure is not going to be, well, this would be my preference for it to be kind of taut, not loose, but this will totally work as well. So you don't have to have, again, vellum, transparency, any of that to be able to do this. Laminate sheets also, that's another great option right there. So we will play with that. This is the transparency I have. I got it on Amazon. I don't know what this brand is. I will make sure it is linked below. I have really been liking this brand, this particular one. I'm sorry. It came in this plastic envelope, which is super useful. And, oh, now it all just came back to me. It comes with a piece of paper in between each sheet. That's what I printed on. It's not, it is tracing paper or tissue paper, but that's where I got it from. I was trying to remember where this came from. That's why I love this so much, because it's kind of like a 2-for-1. So you get the transparency and you get some really fun tissue paper. So lots of uses for that. And I gotta be honest, I bet I wonder. Just hold on. Let's just totally off. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Sometimes when you get something like this, the printing on the outside, you can actually rub it off with like a magic eraser, and then, hello, a 3-for-1, because then you'd have a storage envelope. You can put other stuff in when you're done using all this. I mean, you still could, but, so that is the transparency paper is it paper? No, transparency film that I really, really like. Okay, so those are the paper pieces. Then, how are we making this slide? A couple of different options for you. So we have a few things here. I have a die cut, right? This is the Tim Holtz chapter something or other. I'll pull it out in a minute. You can die cut if you already have a die. You can certainly do that. So I have a die cut. I also have some paper punches. So I used a round paper punch. I don't even know why I own a square punch. That seems absolutely ridiculous to me, but actually no, I'm kind of glad I have that. You can use a paper punch. The limitation with these is how deep can you get your punch. So for example, you're limited to how far you can go into the punch, right? However you look at it, you've got some limitations for what it's worth if you're using a paper punch, but it is very doable. Then you have the option of a ruler and a craft knife. You can get these at Dollar Tree, dollar store, wherever, hardware stores, super, super inexpensive. You could probably pick one up for less than $2. And if you've been watching any of my videos lately, I have been complaining that I have lost my ruler. I found it, and my teenager did not have it. It was on my other desk underneath a pile of papers. So I'm sorry, Gwen, for blaming you for stealing my ruler. So for that, you can take any object, find an object. Like, for example, let's see if I have a block. This one might be a little big, but oh yeah, that's way too big. I don't have a block that would work. But I think you understand where I'm going. Find something that's square. Find something that's the right shape. I don't know why I'm struggling. Cut a piece of paper. I don't know. Make yourself a template. And then with a simple ruler, or like I said, a cutout, a piece of paper, make a template, trace it out, and then cut it out with a craft knife. You're just gonna want to take your piece of paper. This is how I did this, is I took my piece of paper, I folded it in half, and that way I made sure I was cutting through both layers at the same time. Okay, so those are a few options. Now, if you have any dies, you don't have to necessarily have this particular die or a slide die. I have several here. Well, I do have another die that is like a slide, so it doesn't have to be the Tim Holtz one. I have this one, so that would work. And let's see here. I don't know where, oh good, I do have it. Okay, so this is, I don't know what the name is. Does it have it on here? It's a Tim Holtz one. Why is the name not right there? That would have been very helpful. The reason I pulled this out is to show you, you might have other die sets, again, because this is just a rectangle of paper, right? And it can be any size. You can make it bigger. By all means, make it huge. But you could use a die from really any die set you have. So like these label-y looking ones, that would totally work. Something like that. Maybe not this one because it's really big, but if I was making a huge slide, that would totally work. Let's see what else. I have this one here. I can't even remember what this is. I don't know if it's just an Amazon one I got or if I got it from somebody. I'm sorry, I can't link it because I have no idea where I got it from. But my point of this is that I've got like a small square here. Here's another one. So you could use something like this if you have any dies that have shapes like that. And then this, of course, is the Tim Holtz one that I used. Now, I'm going to pull it out because it's chapter something. Why is there no... Oh, that is annoying. Come on, man. I know there's a number, but I would like to know the name of it. I think it's chapter 3 something. I don't know. It's number 665930 from Sizzix and Tim Holtz. Grr. Yeah, gonna bug me. I don't know what this is called, but this is what it looks like. So here is the slide. Now, if you've never used this before and you're wondering how did you get it on both sides, it's pretty simple. You run it through, let me grab it here. You run it through and then you flip your paper and you run it through again and it'll cut that out for you. Or you also have this piece here. You can cut, let's see, I did not use that there. Okay, good. Again, you can cut out, I don't know why you would use this and not this, but you could if you wanted. Maybe you don't like the little holes and the little notches and things like that. So for whatever reason, you have options. So those are just some ideas on how you can get the paper shape that you want to create this slide. I'm gonna go back to this one for a second, if I can pull it out, because I wanna share these as well. Have you seen these? I'm sure you have. If you're a junk journaler, you have definitely seen these, or if you're older than 40, maybe. These are the, what are they called? The slides, the photo slides, I don't know. This one's called the Kodachrome something, Kodak. Anyway, this is another idea, okay? My brain is completely just stopped for a second. I don't know why I couldn't. I think because this picture is upside down and I'm like, why is that upside down? I'm sure there's a purpose, but it's a little weird. So you could make something like this. So maybe you don't want it to look like a slide with notches and that, so you don't want to use this. I guess that's why you would maybe use this little one here. But if you have something like this, like here, this square is probably just about the right size. Let's take a look. Just about. It may be a little bit smaller. So you can make, if you're not doing something that has mugshots or specimens, and you're doing one that's maybe travel themed or mail or vacation themed, whatever it might be, and you wanted to have some ephemera that looked more like these little photo slides, you could absolutely recreate this. You can do it with paper, or this is actually a little bit thicker. You could use something maybe a little bit thicker to create this same. They must be designed to be upside down. That's all I can think of. Whatever contraption displayed it must do some sort of like flippy floppy thing with mirrors. So yeah, there's another option you have. And then you've got some pretty cool options here. You could do some really neat stamping. This one says color transparency this side towards screen. And then there's a date on the back. Well, guess what? They're a little big maybe, but I have some stamps here on my registered stamp set. This is Craft Social registered, that you probably could do something just as cool with by putting a little pointy finger or the arrows, and maybe it's classified. There's probably something on here that would dated, probably something you could use to create the same idea. I had to plug my stamp set, right? I have to. I need more Crafty dollars, so buy my stamps and my digitals. Check out my Etsy shop. Okay, so that is another option you have to make something like this. These are really cool. I wish I could figure out how to scan them for you guys to do something with, because I suppose I could cut these out and scan this part, because they are really neat. But the photos that I have are cool. I don't think you guys can, maybe you can kind of see. So this one is, I think I've showed these before, but this one is from Itasca State Park in Minnesota. This is actually the headwaters of the Mississippi River right here. That's where it begins. So this is from November of '62. This one is some gentlemen in uniforms. Looks like they're cleaning their guns. So definitely war era. This one's got some names on the back. Kofke and Fancher in from OP, whatever that means. This one is definitely United Kingdom, probably London. Looks like some sort of Queen's Guard or something. I probably said that completely wrong. It's probably not even a thing. I'm sorry. I'm from the Minnesota, United States, so I don't know really much about the monarchy or whatever you call it. Shut up, Kelly. Keep moving. Yeah, good idea. This one's really cool. It's like a little vacation mountain look. August of 71. I know this has nothing to do with what we're doing. It kind of does, but it doesn't. But these are just cool and I want to share them. This is another one of some gentlemen in a uniform. I don't know. Can you see that? Oh, look at you can. Okay, cool. Okay, showing you guys that. Sorry, hopefully I didn't make you guys sick. It says Jacko and Westfall. Let me show you the other one I was talking about. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. Can you tell what that is? I'll try to do it slowly so you don't throw up. I get motion sickness easily, so I don't want anybody to get sick. Is that working? Can you see those dudes? Probably have stuff underneath. Okay, anyway. I find those fascinating. Here's another cool thing I found. I got some stuff from my, I moved my mom out of her house. Well, she's been in a nursing home for 2 years. I finally sold her house, cleaned it out. And in that I found a bunch of old photo albums and all kinds of neat stuff. And what I found are these photo negatives. And so I thought, ooh, maybe not that one. Where's the little one? I thought that also would be a cool thing to stick in here. So I might cut one apart. I only have the two, so I'm tempted to not use them, but let's be honest. We don't need to be hoarding our stuff. Just make something cool. A lot better to be sitting in my scrapbook stuff and my creative stuff than in a photo album that's never getting looked at. Okay, so that's how you can make your own version with or without the slide I'm going to be using. What else am I using? I've got my inks out. I also have alcohol inks. I have my collection of alcohol inks out on my desk, and I have some mixed media stuff here. So I've got some grit paste. I have translucent and opaque, and I have some crackle paint. So these are things that I don't use very often. I want to use. I have them. And if you're like me, this is a project, we can use that. So I'm going to bring this one back in. This is the first one I did a while back, and then this is one I just did. So I'm going to actually raise it up to you instead of zoom in when I'm editing, because I really want to just talk about it right now. There. Okay, I think it helps that I have a white desk. So hopefully you can see that there is some grit. There's some grit paste around it that I've colored. I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. This is a total experiment for me every time. And I'm sharing that with you intentionally. And then there's some crackle paint. So hopefully if I kind of move it around, you can kind of see that texture. I don't know if this is working at all, but it's got crackle paint. Here's another one. I just did this one. I think the camera is trying to focus on the dude's face, so sorry if it's getting all weird. But we've got some, what did I say? Grit paste around the edges. I did it on both sides on this one. I kind of went into the photo here. And then there's some alcohol inked on the transparency, and then again that crackle paint. I'm getting a headache looking at it that way, so hopefully I didn't just make you guys sick. This one I used that tracing paper on the inside, and I did put the crackle paint on. It's not as a strong of an effect, I should say, than it is on this. So you can get different looks depending on kind of how much you use, I think, how you apply it to some degree. And then I have it on this one. I did not put it on this one though. I decided to leave that one without the crackle paint, but I do have some extra kind of just inking and things like that. All right, so let's make a few so you guys can see how this comes together. So this isn't necessarily a full tutorial as much as it is my process, and we'll just have some fun. Let's just make some and see how it goes. So let me grab back in my stuff here. Okay, Gwen just came in and showed me all her bug prints that she's been making today. I either left that in this video and you just saw it also, or I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I did a sped up version. I have no idea. Because this is now Kelli, and that's going to be edit Kelli to make those decisions. But now I lost where I was at, and I don't want to go back and try to figure it out. So we'll just carry on, whatever way we're doing. I think we were just going to make some. So let's do that. I'm going to start with the bug one because I want to really make sure I address the idea that if you don't have all this extra stuff, how you can make one without having to have all of the mixed media stuff or the vellums or any of that stuff. Or transparency. So I need to pick out a bug, and I'm going to do it in this one here. So I love this bug. I always do, but I have not used that one. I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to fussy cut out these two because these are going to be the mirror. So I'm going to fussy cut those out real quick, and then we'll carry on with making a bug one using a digital. Okay, I'm still in the middle of cutting this out, but I did want to give you guys some ideas on if you are unsure how you're going to match these up, because that's exactly what I just experienced. I went, wait, how am I going to make sure these match up? I'm going to try some out here and see if it works, and then if it does, you guys will see it. If it doesn't, I'll probably edit it out. Okay, so my thought is that I know I want them to line up, so what if I go ahead and glue them together now, match them up, and that way I can fussy cut them at the same time. So that is what I'm gonna do and hope for the best. So I'm just gonna put a little glue there, and then, so what I did to give myself a little bit of a guide is that on this side and this side I cut next to this little leg antenna thing. So I'm gonna line that up because I think then that will make everything else kind of line up. And I'm going to use the light from my window to kind of try it, although it's a little difficult because it's cardstock, but I'm going to try to see through it the best I can. I think I'm good. It's hard to tell for sure, but I think I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a second, and then I'm going to fussy cut it and I'll let you know if it worked out. Okay, that did not work. I just didn't line it up right, and now I can kind of see through, maybe. Yeah, unfortunately that did not work. So I think that that is not a way to do that, because this side looks fine, but this side is way off. So scrap that idea. That didn't work. And now I have to pick a different bug because I ruined those ones. So oh, that's a bummer. I really want to use that one. I guess it's going to be, I guess the black one. And now that I look at it, knowing I have to fussy cut it, I'm actually going to choose that one because that one will be a little bit easier. So I think then what I have to do is fussy cut it and then just do some trimming. So that's probably what'll actually happen. So, well, it was definitely worth a try, because had that worked out, that would have been super slick, but alas, that shall not. So I will fussy cut these and I will be back. Okay, I have my bugs cut out, and then if I put them together, I will have to do probably a little cleanup here and there, but not much, so that's good. Yeah, the whole idea of gluing them together and fussy cutting at the same time, I think would work if the paper around it, or whatever's around it, was all white, or in this case, it's a cream color, but it had, like here, let me pull it back out so you know what I'm saying. These have like a cream color around it. What's it called? Like a stroke, like an outline. And that is what I was trying to stay in the lines of, if that's the right way to say that. So that idea I think would work given the right printable, but in this particular situation, that was not the case. But I think I did a pretty good job. Once I get them glued together and dried, I can go ahead and just clean up any edges. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down and try to get the little antennas so that everything's nice and stuck together. Get off my glue bottle, please, and thank you. So let's just go ahead and smack her down and glue her together. Try to line it up somewhat so I'm not doing a ton of extra trimming. Squeeze all that glue together. So I'm getting a text. Now that my phone is not the thing I'm recording, I keep forgetting to mute my phone. So if you have that same notification and it just went off and you thought it was your phone, sorry, I will mute that because I'm going to get some text messages now. I'm trying to help my daughter organize her friends to go roller skating tonight. Her friend group is primarily boys, and they sometimes need extra help communicating, so I end up texting their moms. They're freshmen, but yet we still have to help them. Okay, so let me get, I got my bug, so I'm gonna set that aside so it can dry, then I'll trim it. The next thing I wanna work on is which one am I doing? Here it is, I keep losing it. I wanna do some inking, so I'm gonna talk through kind of how I got this effect with the inking. Oh, is this guy dry? No, that guy's not dry. Uh-oh, what did I do? I'm sure it's fine. Okay, let me get all my inking stuff out and we'll do some play time with that. Okay, I have a few things out on my desk to help me with this whole process. You don't need any of this stuff, but I have it, so I'm gonna use it. And maybe you have the Tim Holtz, I think it's his own personal brand. I don't even remember the name of the brand, but the glass and craft mat thingy he has. I don't have that, and I'm not going to invest in it because I have an alternative. And I'm not sure the glass is the best thing for filming because of glare, but hopefully it's not bad. So what I have is I have a glass mat. I've had it for a long time. This is a We Are Memory Keepers version, but honestly, anything like it would work. A glass, what's the word I'm looking for? Cutting board. I don't know if it has a slick surface or if it's more, if you can find one with a smooth surface, but that would work. If you really want a glass crafting space. This stuff here, I got this on Amazon. I have a huge, huge thing of it. This is called Slick Paper, and it is silicone release paper. Printer friendly, I don't know about that. I've never tried putting it through my printer. My printer and I are already on shaky ground. It makes a weird clunking sound when it prints. It kind of freaks me out. This will last me for the rest of my life because it is 250 pre-cut sheets. And this one is legal size, just what I happened to buy. I actually kind of like it. I bought this originally for stickers. When I was really into stickers and sticker bombing, I thought it would be really great. Like if I can't even remember. I think it was like if I had all these little individual stickers, I could put them onto a piece like this and then I could take them off. That didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, but I have found a lot of other uses for this stuff. So this is a great thing to have in your crafty arsenal. Yeah, I mean, it says right here, it's got a ton of great ideas. Sticker backing, heat transfer, diamond painting, whatever. So that's what I use for this kind of a situation. So here's what I'm gonna do. Kind of dirty, but that's okay. I'm actually gonna ink a bunch because if I'm gonna do this once, I'm doing it a lot. So I might just ink them all. But this is what I'm primarily wanting to make sure I do. But we'll make a bunch, so why not? Set yourself up with a little station. If you're gonna do this, go for it. So here's what I do. I have no idea if I'm doing this right. This is what works for me. I like this. I'm gonna just keep doing it. So I have my Distress Oxides. I also have, hello, what am I looking for? Ink. I think this would work as well. What am I trying to find here? No, it's already on my desk. I have some here. Now I can go real dark, ground espresso. I have Scorched Timber. I have that both in oxide and distress ink. I have some Crackling Campfire, some Wild Honey, and then I might pull in some tea dye and what's that other one? Gathered Twigs. One of these is kind of more orangey. I can't remember what it is though. Is it? No. I want to say it's Brushed Corduroy. Well, let's find out. Okay, so here's what I do. I take, and I have the sprayer bottle. I take the ink, move over so you can see what I'm doing. So that sheet is right here, just in case you can't really tell. And I'm sorry if things are askew and wonky and crooked. I noticed the video I just edited, and it is, I think the whole thing is a little bit crooked. I can't shift it when I edit. I don't know how. Maybe it can be done, but I don't know how. And I think it's because I had my camera mount just off a tiny bit. So my sincerest apologies if that drove you a little crazy. It drove me crazy when I was editing it. So I'm making a hodgepodge mess here. It's probably going to turn into just mud, but I'm okay with that. So all I did was, I'm just going to do ink right now. I want to try that. I just went ahead and smushed each one of my little pads down, and then I'm going to give it a little spray, and then I'm just going to break it up. I've seen Tim Holtz do this, so I think I'm doing this right, at least. It creates like all these little water droplets of ink. Let's do not the one we want to do right now. Let's try something else. And then I do this. Bloop. I just kind of drop it in and pick it up and move it around. I think I definitely want to add in some Distress Oxide, so I will do that. Ah! Okay, so you don't want to soak it too much. I've learned that the hard way. So I'll do another one. So again, I'm just kind of dabbing it into the bits of ink on my mat here, kind of picking up the different colors. So this one's pretty orangey and mild, which is fine. Let's see, I want to go in with the oxides now. So I'm just going to use a baby wipe. I have it on my desk. I'm just going to wipe that all away. It starts to get a little warped when it gets wet, but it still works. And you'll still be able to use this for quite a bit. And also, if you buy a pack like I did, you have 250 of them. So, you know, grab another one. Okay, so that was tea dye. We'll do a little brushed corduroy, and we'll get in some scorched timber and some vintage photo. And I'm just too lazy to get up and get my crackling campfire or any of my other colors, my wild honey, because they're in a thing over there, and I don't want to get up. Okay, a little bit of water, kind of spread it around, get the droplets kind of intermixed a little, and then we'll do, okay, we're going to do this one now. I can see, by the way, this one from this side here, I can see that when I cut this, I actually folded it inward, so I folded it the other way, and I have pencil marks, so I can see exactly where it is that I drew out my square. So this one I just used a pen and ruler, or pencil and ruler, and cut it out. I didn't realize that before, but that's what I did. Okay, so it's curling up quite a bit. That's okay. It will flatten out a bit as it dries. So I'm going to let that do its thing. And then we'll do, I really want to get more, I do want more of the yellow and the red tone. Oh, fine, I'll get my inks. Okay, it wasn't actually that hard to grab those. I have a friend who, she is a organizer extraordinaire. And so she has given me some very wise advice when that you organize, oh, Rusty Hinge, that's the one that's more orange. Anyway, when you organize things, don't stack bins on top of bins, even though it might look, you know, cute to have things stacked and all that, because you're less likely to put things away if a bin is stacked under another bin, and you are less likely to use things if it's hard to get to. I did not take that advice, and when I redid my craft room last fall, I have bins stacked on bins. So guess what? I sometimes am like, oh, that's too much work to get that out. I'm not gonna bother. So Melissa, you were right. I should have listened to you, but now it's too late. Also, I have too much stuff. I simply can't not stack bins on top of bins because I can't fit everything in this craft room if I do that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to add some more here. I'm running out of juice. Let's put in, I just have this weird thing about squishing my pads down onto water and droplets of other colors, so I am gonna wipe it off. Normally I'm not that particular about stuff, but for this For this one, I feel like I need to be a little bit more mindful of that. Okay, so we're gonna get in this red color, wild honey. I pulled out dried marigold, and this is all orange. This is all gonna be orange, apparently. Let's see, let's add just a tiny bit of dark in there. Okay. Now, I'm gonna kind of dot it a bit. This is a messy craft. I love it. It's so fun. Just kind of making a big mess, enjoying the process. Ooh, yeah, that is fun. Oh, I like that. Look at that. Okay, let's add some back in here. So this is just playing, right? This is all I'm doing. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just enjoying the process and just putting ink down and playing. So I kind of understand now, like when Tim Holtz is like, just play, just make backgrounds, and like, what would you do with all those? I'm not a card maker. Well, I can tell you right now that if I just had a sheet of paper, print off like a very basic background paper. I happen to have a few of those in my Etsy shop. That was not a planned plug. But print them out and then just ink the whole thing. And then you can cut into it anything you want. That is actually a super good idea. And I might have to take my own advice and do that. Okay, I'm just going to get the rest. Oh, okay, look what happened when I did that. I'm going to... Ooh, well, that's fun. Okay. Got a lot of orange. Now we need to add in some, I should have added some to that. It's not too late. We need to add in some darker browns over here, and some reds and yellows here. I'm really liking that whole combo. So I'm gonna do another version of that, but this time I'm gonna also throw in, let's see, what do I got here? I'm gonna do some ground espresso. See what happens. It's funny how they all look so gray when you put it down like that. I also have some of this. What do we got here? Vintage walnut stain. Let's just throw a tiny spritz of that down. Ooh, that. Hopefully I'm in frame and you guys can see what happened there. A little bit of water. Oh, that's definitely darkening it up. So I've got some reds and oranges coming in over there. Ooh. We are going to, goodness gracious. We're going to a birthday party this evening. Me and my girls are, for a friend of mine's daughter who's turning 22. Yes, they still have birthday parties at that age and I love it. This fun, awesome girl, I've known her entire life. She's turning 22 and the birthday party is at a local skating rink, roller skating. And we are gonna go and enjoy the evening. I'm hopeful to not break anything on my body. And my youngest, who turns 7 on Tuesday, on April 1st, she's never been roller skating, and my oldest, who is going to be 15 in May, has only been like once or twice in her life, and she barely remembers it. So this will be a fun adventure for all. I spent my younger years living at the roller rink, so I'm pretty excited. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So that's something I have to look forward to tonight. And it's an 80s theme, which makes me laugh because this girl's turning 22, so she wasn't even born in the 1900s. She was born, well, 22 years ago. So it's funny to me because I'm like, yeah, that's my friend probably saying, hey, let's do an 80s theme because we are children of the 80s. This I don't like. I want more there. So now it's time to start making some adjustments. So this one and this one have and this one even have a little too much of the brighter white-ish. It's not white, but it's a little too bright for me. So I'm gonna do something bonkers crazy, and I'm gonna spray this Distress Oxide spray I'm gonna try to, try to do it in like a split. Oh, I love that. The rest can be achieved by a little bit of inking, so I'm not gonna worry about that. And let's see if we can pick that up. Uh-oh, paper's getting a wee bit wet. Gotta be careful. Okay, this one. What happens when you put water with oxide? I'm not really sure. I think because doesn't oxide react to water? So what happens if you just mix it with it from the start? Let's find out. I don't do this a lot, so this is really fun. This is very experimental for me. Am I gonna get it too brown? Probably. All right, let's take an assessment. Where are we? What do we got? Gosh, I love that. Okay, I need to do that. Where's the one we're gonna be doing? This one here. This might be my favorite part. Come on. Oh gosh, that might have been too much. But I'm gonna let it be. Okay, now I have more here. I better take advantage of it. Oh, hello, friend. You need some dark color. Let's do that. I could do this all day. This is so fun. I did not realize how much fun this would be. Just make a mess. I kind of get to do a little of this when I build the folio covers. I do the inking and all that stuff, but this is totally a blast. I think I'm gonna call it. Okay, I'm gonna clean up, let these dry a bit, and then we'll come back and do the next step. Well, all of my pieces are mostly dry. The one I really want to work with is here, and that one is probably not as dry as it should be, but it's dry enough. I don't want to wait any longer. So I'm going to set these aside, and I think I'm done with this for right now. So I'm going to pull this aside. I'll come back to this and use this probably again because it'll be dry, and I'm not too worried about the ink lifting, but if it does, I guess we'll figure that out together. Okay, so now we have this bug here, and it needs to be inked. Let's make sure it's gonna fit. Oh yeah, that's gonna look great. Okay, so I need to trim and ink this. So let's see here. I'm just gonna go I'm gonna start on one side and just kind of go around where I can see the backing of the other side paper and just kind of trim along the edge. And then I'll flip it and do the same thing on the other side. And plus, I don't like any of these like harsh corners. That's pretty good actually. This side not so much. So let's trim that out. And then, so that is how we can accomplish our mirrored bug. I'm not gonna spend too much, it does not have to be perfect, so I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on it. Just don't want it to look stupid. Okay. I feel like that's good enough. Especially once it's inked. I don't think you'll be able to really see the difference. Good enough. Okay. Yes, I just wiped that all onto my floor. I will vacuum later. What am I gonna do here? Do I want to go light, do a little tea dye, or vintage photo? I'm gonna do vintage photo. That's always my favorite. Do you have a favorite ink you kind of gravitate towards? It's always the one you use for inking, or it's your first go-to. What? That's not... Is that vintage photo? Yeah. Oh, because I used the ink, not the oxide. Oops. Okay, well the bug's getting vintage photo ink. The oxide is the one that I tend to use more. Oops, I guess we're going a little darker on this one. That's okay. Oh, now you can really see. Okay, that backfired. I thought it would blend it in, but now you can actually see even more the spots I did not trim well. That actually makes sense because it would create a shadow. Okay then. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, so the other thing I think I want to do is put a little bit of spots spotting on it. I need a thing. Need to do some inking. Okay, where is my, this guy. My absolute favorite color always to do splatters with is wild honey, for sure. Okay, so get a little bit of that on there. Yes. Leave you out because I'm probably going to use you again. Okay, now our bug is going to go in there like that. So cool. I love this. Excellent. Okay, before I put it all together, I want to do some stamping. I don't know if I'm going to need that, but I'm for sure going to need stamps. So I'm going to pull out my Craft Social stamp and maybe this guy. Or where's Field Notes? Yeah, okay. So let's see, what are we gonna do? I want it to be dark. Pulling out my samples. I'm pretty sure I used ground espresso. I didn't stamp anything on this side or this side. I guess I didn't stamp anything on this one. I didn't realize that. Okay. I did on this one though. I definitely did on these two. I don't know the color I used, but I'm gonna use ground espresso. Where are you? Yes. Okay, how about a block? Okay, so we got a bug going in there. Let's put, I am gonna be designing another stamp set. I wish I would have done it when I made these. Because it does take a while to get it through the design process, and then the, sorry if you can hear my family in the background, it's Saturday. Nobody seems to care that I'm in here doing this. I can't concentrate because my daughter's yelling at my husband about something. Not like yelling at him in a bad way, but she's just, they're talking very loudly. What was I saying? Oh, so the stamp sets, they take time because, you know, there's a design process and then there is a prototype process. So the manufacturer I use, they will put it into production, do a prototype, send it to me so I can physically see it, test it, make any modifications, and then I send it to production and then they produce it and then they send it to me. And that whole process takes like 2 months. So that is why I wish I would have just made this Specimen Field Notesy style one at that time. I'm gonna put the word shipment over here because in my little storytelling that I like to do, this is gonna be again in my Field Notes Folio, and it is going to be maybe like a specimen collected that needs to be sent off to wherever. Like I'm imagining that this person is in the field collecting samples and specimens and they are sending them off to, like, I don't know, a college or something, or an institute is probably a better word for that. So I have shipment. I want to put order number. Maybe? No. What's another word I want to use? File, department, received, attention, close, signature, record. Oh, let's use that. And then we'll put some numbers on it. That'll be good. Okay. We'll go here, record. And then we need some numbers. So I'm gonna use my tiny block for that. I prefer that. Oops, sorry, so loud. Okay, so I'm just gonna make up a number series here. So we're gonna go with the number 4. Get on there. All right. Before I do that, I'll just use this big block. This says NO, like for number. I'm gonna put that below it, and then I'm gonna put the number in. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, number 4. I'm just, no rhyme or reason. 6. Make it straight. Let's go. I want to do 4 numbers. Let's go with a 0. No, that's a 9. 0's on the other end. 9. 4, 6, 9. I feel like that is from something. I don't know why this popped into my head as something. I can almost sing it, but I don't know why. It's probably some embarrassing song. So if you know, don't tell. I don't want to know. 4, 6, 9, 7. And then I want to add a dash. So I'm going to use the dashed line. And let's get it on there kind of straight. I just need the very edge. So I'm just eyeballing it here to get the very last dash. And then, sorry for my head. Perfect. I could have just like used a pen, but I don't have a pen in ground espresso. There's probably a marker, but I don't have that either. Okay, and then I want 2 more numbers. I'm gonna do a 3 and whatever this is, 5. And then I use the big block anyway. And they're not straight. That is okay by me. Okay, so now I've got shipment, record, 4, 6, 9, 7, 3, 5. Is that a 7? Yeah. Okay, flip it and let's put something else on there. Let's go to a Tim Holtz. I want to do some arrows. Yeah, I'll do that on a different one. What should we put on here? Oh, my eye is itchy. Here, this thing should fit. Oof. Yeah, I think it'll fit. Whatever this says. And right there. That is so cool. Okay, do I want anything else? Let's see. I don't think so. I think I like that. Okay, here comes the tricky part. Not my favorite thing to do with this, and you certainly don't have to, but I want to ink it. I want to ink the inside for sure. I can ink the inside after, once I get it all put together, but the inside, if you don't do it now, it's really difficult to do it when you get it all sealed up. Like to try to get, it's just a pain. It's not worth it. So take it from me, do this part now, because you will be kicking yourself if you forget. But if you forget, don't worry. It doesn't have to be inked. And if you still need to ink it once it's sealed up, you know what? You can do that too. I also want to get rid of like that really naked part. I don't know what else to call that. So I'm just going to put a little ink there to get rid of that. And I want to darken that up too. Well, I'm going to go around the whole edge when I'm done. Okay, so that took care of the inside. All right, now let's get this bug in here. Where did I put the packaging? All right, I'm just going to use this bit of acetate, and I want it to be on both sides. So I'm going to take advantage of the fold and cut it with that fold intact. But you certainly don't have to. You just need 2 pieces, and you can sandwich them together. But since I already have this piece, I'm gonna cut it right about there. Probably should have done it from the other side. Since it's already got a fold in it, I'm gonna take advantage of that so that I don't have to worry about sandwiching 2 pieces together. It was way bigger than I needed, and that's okay. I will trim it. I just didn't want it to be too small. Oh, you know what I should have done is put alcohol ink in it first. No, you know what? I'm not alcohol inking this one because I want this to be the version that anybody can make with or without all of this stuff. So no alcohol ink on this one, but you certainly could. Okay, that fits. Excellent. Okie dokie. So now we have our cellophane, acetate, whatever. We got our bug. So this guy is going to go in here, and then it's going to go in here. So now I just have to figure out where to place him. Right about there. See how that is going to work? I'm so excited. All right, so now to make this easy on myself, I'm going to put a dot of glue there, and then I'm going to smush it in. And it should dry clear, but if it doesn't, it might actually look kind of cool. And I'm going to do the same on the other side just so they match, and squish it around, because that might end up being kind of neat looking. I don't really know. Uh-oh. Except for it's not. Help! There we go. Okay. All right. So that could have been achieved with or without that little fold. I just took advantage of the fact that it was there. So where's my glue? This glue's getting gummy. Oof. Oh. I can't get it in there. There we go. All right. Things are getting a little out of control here. That's how you know you're having fun, right? Is your desk is an absolute disaster. All right, so that goes like that. Now we got to glue this in here. So I am going to do the trick. I'm going to cover my ink so I don't accidentally stick my hand into it. I am going to show you once again my little trick of being able to get some of that, like that look of, where is it? See this one? How you can see, hopefully you can see there's like a smudge here. Can you see that? There's like an inky smudge. So this was achieved. Oh, I got the hiccups. Great. This happened to me a couple videos ago. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Things aren't going well out in the living room. Our 7-year-old thinks that the whole house is just her play zone and she can just make messes everywhere, and then she gets real upset when we tell her she has to clean it up, and I can hear the two of them having a fight now about it, and I'm definitely staying in here. So that is a key to our parenting, is to not, either we have to support each other, back each other up, or the other one has to get out of the way, because we can't. Anytime I ever try to defend one of the kids against my husband, it doesn't go well, so I just have to go with it. It doesn't usually go the other way. He very, very seldom is defending the children against me. So, okay, before I got distracted by my family dramatics, to get that look, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put my glue down, but I'm also going to go really close to the edge and kind of heavy, because I want it to smoosh out. And when it does that, it gives me a little bit of texture to play with in inking, okay? Probably need a little more in the corners. So now I've got all that ink. That's not ink. Get it together, girl. It is glue. And also, you see how that just smushed right in there? That is totally fine for this, because I do want it centered more though. Oh, I guess it is what it is now. Because it is going to, okay, so I'm gonna smush it out. It's gonna dry, and then it's gonna give me the texture I want. And I'm actually gonna kind of just pat it with my finger. I'm gonna do it on both sides a little, because that is going to give me something with tooth to put the ink on. And I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit curious if I can do the same thing. I'm going to try something. I'm going to put a big splodge, that's not a word, I made that up, of glue, and I'm going to just kind of, I'm going to build it up a little, and I'm just tapping it with my finger to give it some texture, as I am going to ink it, and I'm going to see if we can achieve the same sort of effect that you get with the grit paste without having grit paste. So let's see if glue will give us the same kind of benefits. So I'm just gonna put it there, and then a little on the film. Okay, so now we need to let that dry, and then we can play with it. We can ink it and see if we get that same effect. Because again, not everybody has all the stuff, all the mixed media, all of the grit paste and this and that. So you shouldn't have to invest a ton of money in products if you want to just have a play. Maybe you don't even know if you'll like using that kind of product. So let's see if we can achieve it in a different way. And then if it's something that blows your mind, you can say, okay, it's worth investing the money. And to be fair, this stuff is not very expensive. I mean, it's like less than 10 bucks and it does last a pretty long time. It's not gonna last forever, but it will last you a long time. Okay, so there is our bug. We're gonna let that one dry. Now let's work on the rest of these, and we'll do kind of a mix of using all the stuff and none of the stuff, okay? So we need some more, what's the word I'm looking for? Things. There's a word I was looking for, but it was not coming. Okay, I have, not that one. How many criminals do I have? Because how many do I need for my, I have 3. I want to use this one because I already did some work on that one. I have my field notes. Okay, I'm going to have 3 field notes. So let's do a couple more here. Let's say we're going to do, well, we're going to do that lady. And let's find another one. Some of these ladies are just a little too scary for me. Like that, I'm sorry, lady, you terrify me. This guy looks a little more white collar. We need some white collar criminals for this folio. Some politicians. Yeah, I said it. Get some dirty politicians in there. They're not all dirty, but let's be honest. Okay, we also are gonna need, let's see, how many of these do we have? 1, 2, we have 5 more to do. Okay, so 1, 2, let's do a field notes one. I wanna make sure I cut it big enough to be able to glue in. So we'll do a, whatever that is, moth, butterfly, whatever. How did I end up with off numbers? That's weird. Oh, you know what? I know how, because I have a piece of paper here that I never cut, because I wanted to be able to show you kind of a raw starting point. So if I cut this one, I would actually have enough to make an even number. I'm not going to bother with that. That's just not a necessary thing here. But I do want to make 1 more of these. So this one I made through Canva, and I gotta be honest, I can't remember now. I'll have to go back and look if I bought a digital and then just pulled the images into Canva, or if I actually found images in Canva and made this. If I found them in Canva and made it myself, I will make a digital for you guys. If I did not, I will link the digital I used. Fair? Fair. And the only reason why I say that is because like here it's cut off. So I think I probably put frames in Canva and then I just dropped stuff into it. And it is what it is. That's gotta be. Well, anyway, I'm gonna use this one because I like that. I like that look. Hopefully it will fit. You probably can't even see what it is. There, now if I put it down I can. Okay, how many? I need 5. So I have 4, I need 1 more. Do I do a criminal or do I do a field notesy one? Sorry, I'm leaning over my desk, so if the top of my head just became visible, my apologies. You could see all my silver hair. Do I want to do another? I have to choose. Gosh, criminal, or a thing. What's over here? How about a flower? Let's do a flower. Make it a little bit more pretty one. Let's do this orange one. I think it's a poppy. I don't know what it is. I don't know my flowers. Okay, we'll do that. We'll go this route. All right, so let's make some space here. So we're gonna do 3 more field notes and 2 criminals. So this one, I already put a little bit of alcohol ink, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do some alcohol inking on these because I have it, but again, not necessary. Let's figure out which ones are going where. Oh, I forgot I had a round one. That's gonna change it a little because, that's cool. I just think that's cool. Okay, you're gonna be round and then I have these ones here, I'm thinking there, and then you. Although I did do all that alcohol inking, you're gonna miss it all. Oh, that's kind of tiny. What about this? Because that is, oh, that'll fill it nicely. That's, okay, I'm gonna do that one for here. You're gonna get this treatment. Uh-oh, because I wet that paper down so much and then I blow dried it dry, I used my blow dryer, I have to put the fold back in. Okay, let's see. Yes, 100% yes. And then, although this one's a little darker, maybe I want to do the darker one. Let's go with the grungier, darker one for her. Yeah. Okay, and then we've got our butterfly. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, you go there. And finally, our cute little flower. You're gonna go there. Oh, that's lovely. I love that. Okay, they clearly need some trimming, but now that we know what's going where, we can do some stamping. So let's do that. We'll get, these are all field notes, so we'll just do kind of little assembly line here. Get some stamps out. Let's see, what do we got here? Use mine. And let's see, I want to get, where is it? I wanted to I never use this set ever. And I was thinking somehow I want to use it. And I was thinking this number one could be fun. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, we need a bigger block. That's not even big enough, but that's okay. It'll get me what I need. And where is the bug? Well, the glue is drying. I don't know if it really did what I wanted. I guess the only other thing I could do is build up another layer, because this one's a little more globby, but it's still smooth. I got time, so let's do that. Let's do a little more. Build another layer. Let's see if that does anything for us. Why not? Okay. Let's go with, I guess, ground espresso again. I think that works. So we're gonna go to the 5. And I just use my fingers. Now, not upside down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, lovely. I like that a lot. I need to put you somewhere where you will, there we go. Okay, did it. I accomplished my goal. I wanted to use the stamp set and I did. Now I'm putting it away. Alrighty. Okay, so my plan is to do this side, flip them. So let's go with, where is eccentric? I haven't used that in a long time. Or tidbits. I was trying to avoid this. I don't want to pull them all out. But, ooh, item number 1. That seems like a good one to use. Did I ever finish my thought about the whole stamp set? I don't know if I did. Well, at any rate, my next run, my next production run, I'm going to have ones that are more for, I don't like that, but that's okay. This kind of Field Notes natural thing here, because I have other words I want to be able to use, and it will be this same style. It'll be the same font, the same size. It'll fit with this. So it will have words that can fit into this kind of whole Field Notes thing, but also some words that can be very versatile, that can go with, you know, whatever. That is what I want. I also want to keep another one this size, but then I want to do a big one, and I want to do more, I don't want to copy Tim Holtz. Please let me try to be clear about this. I don't want to make this, but I want to make something like it because I absolutely love this stamp set. What I love about the stamp set is that it is very versatile. I love the aesthetic. I love this whole vibe. I want to create my own version. And selfishly, I just want it. And then if somebody else wants it and wants to purchase it, I want to share that. I am probably the worst person to be having a business of designing stamps and selling them, because I make what I want and I hope others want it versus trying to fit into something that people will like. How do I say that? I'm not trying to please a market. I'm not trying to find my place in the marketplace to take over and dominate. I just want what I want, and the best way I can do it is to mass produce it, because I can't just create one stamp set. That is not economical. But having 100 of them produced or more is that is economical for me. I can afford to do that. I can afford to do that. The offset is I do need to sell them, so that is my goal. So I'm not trying to be the next Tim Holtz. I am just trying to be Kelli, Craft Social Kelli, with her own stamp line of stamps she likes and hopes her friends like too. So there you go. There's my motto, my philosophy when it comes to me designing stamps. Let's see. What else? This one here. I did one on every side. Okay, can this fit in here? We're gonna try. Yeah, that actually works. Okay, the other thing I really like to do is add another color. So I'm gonna add in some red tones. But first I'm gonna flip these all over. That is important because you don't want to do it upside down. Trust me on that. And then let's go with just this numbers. And then I think I'll do some of my stamps in the red color. Let's see. I always like a number right there. And what else? Oh, I know. Ugh. These stamps are, I don't love this. They are falling off of the sheet. They shouldn't do that, but I guess if they get dirty. Oh, I don't have this one taped to itself. I didn't even realize that. I just licked my finger to get some of the gunk off of it. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted these figure 1, figure 2. Somehow it works better for me on a smaller block. I think they need to be cleaned properly though. I don't even know what this says. Figure 2. Let's put that right here. That looks good. I will say that these clear ones stamp, the red rubber ones are great. They stamp really great, but the clear ones for me, sometimes I feel like stamp a tiny bit crisper because I'm using the same ink. But for whatever reason, just looks a little more easy to read for my eyeballs. Okay, get in there. See how these are yellowed? I don't know if this is, I don't know why they're yellowing. I don't know if it's because of the rubber or the polymer or whatever this material is. I know what it's called, but my brain is like, nope, not today. Or if it's because of a stamp I used, or an ink. I think it's because of an ink I used because it's just a few of them. You'd think it'd be all of them. So it's got to be the ink that I didn't clean off very well. I don't know what color it would have been though because it's yellow. I don't stamp that much stuff in yellow. Anyway, musings by Kelli. Okay, then let's do this field label one. Is that too big? Oh no, that'll look great. Okay. You know what's funny is I did this field label on this one, but I completely forgot I had it in the clear, and I actually used the one from Field Notes, and I masked it off. It was a lot more work. I remembered I had this one. That's okay. Okay, let's see. How are we doing on battery and time? I've given up on trying to make short videos. It's just not me. It's never gonna happen, friends. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. This one's kind of simple, but that's okay. I'm going to stick with it. Oh, I put the stamp away. So the next thing I want to do, I'm just going to do the Field Notes ones first, and then I'll go to the criminal-y ones, just so I can stay in kind of the same flow. Next, I want to add in the red. So I'm using Crackling Campfire for this, and we're going to add in words like certified. That's a good one. We'll put certified. Let's see, this one says package number 720. So we'll do certified on this one. And we're going to put it right along this edge. Right there. Oh, hello. Come on. That was weird. Okay, certified, and then what else? How about duplicate? That's kind of interesting. Like, you have a duplicate of the same specimen? Sure. We'll do that over here. Duplicate. Okay, and let's see, something else. What else do we have? This one over here. We're gonna put something maybe along this line, this side. Registered. That's probably a good one. What else did I use? I used certified, duplicate. I want it to say collected. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the word collect. And I'm gonna do a little praying. Yes, I think this will work. And I hope I have enough room. Okay, I might have to get my head in here a little. Collect. You're going, where are we going with this? How are we going to do this? Trust me, trust the process. Okay, I want it to say collected. I don't have the word collected, but I have the word closed with an ED at the end. So now I just have to carefully stamp or ink the ED and line it up. Sorry, my head's coming in. Now it says collected. Look at that. Didn't even know that was going to happen. What other words can I make out of words? Duplicated, recorded, addressed, voided. Oh, I love that. I hope I remember this. Noticed, no, remembered, ordered, formed. Yeah, okay. So if you have this set or you're thinking about buying it, there you go. You can just use, like, again, the word closed as ED at the end, required has it, you know, any of the words, and add it on to any of the other words to make another word, if that made sense. Oh, I'm thrilled to know that. The other thing I want to do is add this little cancellation bar. How am I going to do that? What am I going to do it on? I'm going to do it on certified, but I don't want it in red. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to do it in, you know what I'm going to do it in? I'm going to do it in green or blue. Let's do it in green. Let's see what happens. How about whatever this is? I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea. I'm going to use forest moss. And then I'm going to put it right, I'm going to do it over certified. I don't want it all the way though. Hey, get back up there. Yeah, that works. It didn't really do exactly what I had in my head, but it's okay. All right, so those are stamped. So we got that done. Yeah, good enough. That's plenty. Okay, next we need to get the specimen-y things in here. So I forgot which one was going in what. Well, I think it only matters for this one. I think it was this one. Yes. Okay, so I need to trim a smidge off the top and then clearly on the sides. So go here and here. And let's see, did that work? Yeah, that works. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, alcohol ink. Let's do some alcohol ink before we get these all in. But I've made this mistake already. I have done the alcohol ink and then realized I gotta trim it to put it in here, and then I've ended up cutting all the alcohol ink off because I did not do this part first. So I'm gonna do it first this time. So we're gonna go here, here, and then let's trim a bit off the top, and just cause a little off the bottom, and hope I didn't trim too much. Oof, that was a close one. All right, and then the flower. Hopefully, I've realized I've been really bad about keeping things kind of more flat so you guys can see what I'm doing. I've been like doing it this way, like in front of me. Hopefully that I get over that and I remember to stop doing that. But also I need to be able to see what I'm doing here. Is that gonna be enough? Ooh, crud. I went a little too close to the edge. Oh, it's okay. We'll make it work. All right, how are we looking here? Good. All right, now we can do our alcohol inking. Again, you can achieve the same-ish look with just making sure that glue kind of splurts out a little and then inking with glue. But I'm gonna use alcohol ink. Oh, get this back out. Dry-ish, yeah. Alrighty, checking the time because I'm in my pajamas. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I probably should get dressed soon to go to this party. But I am enjoying my Saturday. So yeah, I'm in my jammies still. What was I doing? Alcohol ink. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna use, for the criminals, for the mugshots, going dark works, but I think I've realized after I did this one that I like the lighter color better. So I'm gonna use something lighter, like Chronicle. It's kind of got a green tone, so I'm gonna just use that. And if I still want to add in a darker, I might use this butterscotch. Let's try that. Okay. I am gonna actually, instead of doing it on this, I'm gonna use this. Well, I'm gonna use both. Because I have realized in the past that the extra is kind of fun to have already on something, and then you cut it apart and use it in things. So, here we go. I have no idea what I'm doing. Per usual, I'm just doing things and hoping for the best and doing that. A little bit of that. And letting it kind of move around, and then I'll pick up a little on that side. Oh, I don't want it to go on the flower too much. Okay. Ah! Good thing it dries quickly. All right, I'm gonna try to gingerly set that over there. Then I'm gonna just see if I can pick up more of it. This color is very subtle. That's very subtle. I think I want it to be a little darker. You know what? I'm going to do this. That seemed to work better. Just go for it. Yeah, that's cool. I think you're supposed to cap these. You're probably supposed to be ventilated and all kinds of other stuff. So don't do as I do when it comes to safety, because I'm probably the worst at it. A little bit there. Oh, that works. That's a good color for that. Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'm running out of little spaces to put it. It doesn't take long to dry, so let's do a little mixy mix and see what happens. All right. Close that up because I think I'm done with that. All right, and now the butterfly I don't necessarily want to cover too much of. Although I just did. Might as well. I guess we're doing that. Can't. I mean, it can't hurt it, right? That's actually really cool. Okay. Dry. I need something to put you on. There we go. And now I have this really cool little piece that's about the size of one of those. So that worked out. Well, since I already made one, let's do another one. Oh gosh, that was way more than I wanted. All right, well, a couple of drops of that. And then I need to squish it with something. Probably never using these people, so we're gonna do that. Ooh. I guess we're making other stuff now. Because if I got it all out and I'm doing all this, why not? Ooh, it's a little stinky. All right. Now I might end up using that because that's actually super cool. How could I make... Oh, I just had a great idea. I'm going to say it out loud so that I hear it next time, or I hear it when I edit this video. What if I made photo negative strips, but they looked more like this, like a strip of negatives, like, where are those? Where'd they go? They're here somewhere on my desk. The photo negatives that I showed you guys. You're there. Print this onto transparency and then ink it with alcohol ink to create this look. Yeah. Somebody do that. I'm going to do that. You guys should do that too. That would be, because that's, oh gosh, essentially what I have here now is photo negative looking. I'm so inspired by that. Hopefully I have time to do that soon. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, now I have a piece of whatever this is, packaging, acetate, vellum, not vellum, get it right. Whatever that is, I have that for a future project. Okay, sheesh, alcohol ink. It's not very expensive and you can get a lot of use out of it. So if I had to recommend a product outside of, ink, your regular inking stuff, if I had to recommend something to have on hand to play with, I would definitely recommend alcohol ink because it is so fun to play with for this kind of stuff. And these things are great too, but honestly, if I had to pick one thing that I was going to spend some money on, that's what it would be, outside of, your ink pads and stuff. Okay, so are we dry? Yeah, we're dry. Okay, that's just got like a nice kind of green tone. I like that. Oop, hello. Where'd the other one go? Here it is. This one has got a little bit more of that yellowy color, which is butterscotch. I'm trying to not ruin it. And then we got this. Yeah, I love that. So cool. Okay, while those continue to dry, which they probably are already dry, where did I put our bug? Here it is. Okay, well, we definitely have the glue. It's a little tacky, kind of, which actually works because then I can kind of make a little more texture in it. Let's ink it and see what happens. Okay, what should we use? Let's go Rusty Hinge. No, because this color is already kind of that orangey color. Let's go dark. Vintage Photo. I'm going to use oxide because I don't know any different. Okay, let's see if we can, what do we get if we ink that glue? It's given us an effect, but I wouldn't say it's the same as grit paste by any means. But it is cool. I can't remember which side has the glue. It's definitely this side. Actually, if I didn't use oxide, it'd be more... Oh, I shouldn't have used that. Well, it doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. But if I use ink, it's going to be more transparent. So let's do a little of that. I honestly can't tell which side has the glue anymore. This side does for sure. I know up here has it. Yeah, the whole gluing thing didn't do what I wanted it to. I wanted it to build up like some cool texture, but it just really kind of flattened out and got smooth. I mean, you can see my fingerprints kind of, but it didn't like give that same gritty texture. Clearly because it doesn't have sand in it. Huh. But what if it did? Can you make your own grit paste with glue and sand? Huh. I might experiment. I don't know. My daughter has buckets and buckets of kinetic sand. I don't know what's in it, but I could probably take a tablespoon of that and play with it. Or sand from outside. A sandbox, the beach. I also have some of that. Okay, to be continued on that. I don't know when this video is going to be posted. Hopefully soon. Today is actually March 30th. April is in a few days. Wait, is today the 30th or the 29th? It's the 29th. Goodness gracious. Whatever day it is, it's the end of March. What I was going to say, Margaret and Crafty by Tony, Margaret from Seven Plaza, Crafty by Tony, Tony from Crafty by Tony, and other creatives are doing something in April called ABC April. And it is a collaboration amongst many creatives that I gotta admit, I only know some very basic details because I just watched Margaret talk about it in a video earlier this morning. And I'm going off of what I heard. There might be more detail, but from the gist of it, it's very simple. There is going to be a hashtag, which I do believe is ABC April something. I'll look it up. I'll look it up. A bunch of creatives are going to do something in April where every day of the month will have a different letter, starting with the letter A, and each day is going to have, creatives are going to have videos correlating to that day's letter. And so my thought, I'm going to participate the best I can. That requires a lot of filming and a lot of editing, and that makes me a little nervous because I don't know if I have a ton of time to do that. Oh, I almost forgot to ink. But my brain is already going on some of the things. So there's a prompt list that you can get from Margaret and Tony with what those different days can be. But you can also come up with your own idea for that letter, okay? So I am going to participate in as many days as I can. The one kind of like, I don't want to say rule, but kind of a rule for those who are participating that are trying to participate in and also have their, put their content out there to be viewed by others is to stick to that letter for that day. So like the very first day, April 1st, will be the letter A. I don't think there will be, I think Sundays won't have a letter because then that way you can get through the whole alphabet. So the idea is that on the day that is A, April 1st, you would post your A stuff. So I'm going to try to participate best I can. I won't be able to do every day, obviously, because I have a job. But I have I have some ideas on what I could do for different letters. So yeah, I'm excited to jump in and help out on that one, or play along on that one is really what I should say. And the reason why I just thought to tell you guys that is because I was thinking, oh man, I would love to experiment with that idea of creating your own grit paste. And then I was like, experiment. What? Why wouldn't I do the letter, on the letter E day, experiment with different things? And the whole idea behind this is for it to kind of create essentially a library of basic junk journaling techniques, projects, ideas, you know, kind of some essentials. Oh, there's another great one for the letter E, essentials, junk journal essentials. What's essential? So it'll be a really great tool for beginners that can come in and find a whole library of information on how to get going and started in something like this. This I would call a little bit more of an intermediate project, but not really, because you guys have been crafting along with me and it is not that hard. So as you can see, anybody can do it. Okay, enough talking. I am gonna go ahead and just ink the rest of these and glue those in, because you guys saw me do one, you don't need to see me do any more. So I'm gonna get the rest of those completed, and then we're gonna move on to the criminal case closed ones and then wrap this all up, because it's probably already like a 5-hour video the way it's been going for me today. I've been doing it all day long. So I will take a quick break, get these done, and I will be back with the others. All right, I have all of, oh, I didn't ink this one. I almost have all of these ones ready to go. Apparently I forgot to do the other side of inking on this one. Did I do them all? Yes, and yes. Maybe. Okay, good enough. All right, so let's set those aside. Now let's work on these. And I realized I should have just done the alcohol inking on these ones at the same time, but I didn't. So we get to play with that again, which I think is fine. Because this one's actually already done. I don't know if I'm gonna add any more. Does it have a right way, a wrong way? No, of course not. Oh, I didn't do any stamping. That's what I gotta do. I don't have to do alcohol inking, but I do have to do some stamping. So let's do that. Now for this, let's see. I don't want to use that. I'm gonna use ground espresso again. Quick stamping. We're gonna do serial number, this guy. Easy peasy. Right on this corner. That works. I feel like I'm doing speed crafting now because I'm running out of time. I gotta get ready to go to this roller skating party. And I need to get ready. And if it was just us showing up at any time, that would have been fine. I wouldn't be so stressed out. Oh, you can barely see it because of that. That's okay. But my daughter invited friends to join us, and I'll feel like a jerk if we aren't actually there when the friends get there, because they will probably be like, what's going on? So probably need to be there. Condemned. Oh, yes. Does this fit? Please, please fit. I think it will. Might need to stamp on something though, because I think this is going to be big. Everybody out of the way. Red? Yeah, let's do it in red. I don't know how well this will show up, but we're going to try it. Such a terrible word, but doing it. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I like that a lot. All right, that one. And then one more thing over here. Let's go with, where's tidbits? There's something, it's got to be something good on there. How about this one? I don't know if it'll fit, but we're going to do it in red also. Wow, you are ready. Okay, good job.
I got glitter on my teeth.
Oh, yeah, it'll come off. All right.
My teeth are now shiny.
All right, go close my door, please. I'm still filming.
That's it. What did you do?
Yeah,
Clean
well.
that off your face.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. Shut my door, please. Thank you very much. I might have to take a picture and put it in for you guys. We'll see. But Lily just came in. Yeah, that's cool. This morning she came down and said, look, and she had found some makeup in her room, some kid makeup. I thought I hid it. I didn't have the heart to throw it away, but I thought I hid it. I did not. Or I hid it and she found it because she had it on. And then just a little bit ago, I was folding up some laundry and getting out an outfit for her to wear tonight. And I think I mentioned this whole shindig tonight is an 80s theme. And I said, oh, I forgot you have makeup on. You got to go wash that off your face. And then I thought about it for a second. I thought, oh my gosh, my friend and her daughter will get a total kick out of it if Lily comes in that makeup. So I told her, actually, go wash your face and then put it on again. So that's what she did. My husband doesn't think it's funny. He's like, you got to take that off your face. I think it looks great. If you are familiar at all with 1980s and early 90s wrestling, like WWF wrestling, then you'll get this reference. She looks like Scary Sherry. Or what's that evangelist's name? Tammy Faye Baker, Tammy Baker, something or other. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe Lily's going with right now. So it's perfect. She looks crazy. But you know what? She's a kid. Let her be a kid, right? Okay, so inking the inside again because I don't want to try to do that afterwards. It doesn't go well. And let's see. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then any of those, I'm calling them naked spots, just kind of adding a little ink over them. There we go. Okay. Stamped. Oops, sorry, loud. We are stamped. We've got ink everywhere. And now alcohol ink. And maybe just a touch more on this one. Where is that piece? We'll just do it on here again. We'll go a little darker. So how about ginger? Let's try that. Oh, I haven't used this one in a while. It was a little hard to open. What are we doing? Making a mess. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we have a drop there. Oh, I can't. I don't have the heart to do it on her. What if it goes terribly wrong? Going with the old blow it around method. That works. Okay, this guy. Oh, yeah. Because it's going to be the circle, so done. Ooh, I got it on my desk. Oh well, I'll clean that up later or tomorrow. It is one of those glorious days for filming where it is overcast all day. So the lighting has been, it's maybe getting a little darker now, but the lighting has been pretty good for filming for me today because, oh no, magic eraser time. Typically at this time of day, the sun would be on the side of my house and I would not be able to film, or I could, but it'd be kind of shadows all over my desk, but not today. We're supposed to be getting snow tonight, I guess, or sleet or rain, or I don't know. Not till after 10, so that's fine. But it's supposed to be crappy tomorrow too, which I'm excited about because then I can film more and we have nothing to do other than church. Look at that. That's so cool. So I might be finishing this video up tomorrow. We'll see. What time is it? Yeah, I really can't push the envelope any longer on getting ready to go, or we're going to be late and then I'm going to feel horrible because these kids are going to be like, Gwen, where are you? And she'll be like, it's my mom's fault. Uh-oh. All right. Let's just go ahead and get you in. The only thing is I didn't trim for those little circles. That's okay. what I could have done, see these little pinholes here? So I didn't trim it out for that. I'm gonna end up maybe covering it with the grit paste anyway, but the other thing I could have done is I could have just notched the corners before I glued it down, but I didn't, so it is what it is. All right, this guy. There's like a little frame he's got. I feel like I should try to stamp a number on it. But I don't know what I could, I guess stays on. That sounds like a lot of work. I wonder if archival ink will work. Well, I'm gonna try it because I have it. I never use it. So let's just find a little number. This one here. Will this fit? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try it and see what happens. It'll either be cool or fail, so. I think it looks cool. As long as it doesn't smudge off, I suppose. That is just another little detail. All right, now glue you in. Lots and lots of glue. And right there. Oh, fantastic. These are the, oh, did I want the number on the other side? Oh, I didn't think about that. If you do that, well, this is definitely the front now where it says condemned, which is fine, but now I want a number there. So I'm gonna add one in with, let's go with this number. In this, whatever this is, vintage photo. There. Okay. Now the last thing to do, which I think I can get done here before I gotta go move on to other life things, because it needs to dry, is the grit paste. And then I think I don't want to have to film that reveal for you guys tomorrow, so I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna put the grit paste on, and then I'm just gonna put maybe an end result photo in the end for you. No, that doesn't feel quite right. We're gonna do the grit paste, and then I will film the reveal tomorrow after it's dry, because I want to be able to talk through how it goes. I don't want to do a voiceover. This is all details you guys are like, I don't care. Just show us what you're doing. All right, here's where things go a little kooky. I have no idea if I'm doing this right or not. But I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to use teak wood. I want it to be dark. I am going to use not that. I'm going to use, actually I have to film the rest tomorrow because we got to let this dry before we can get the crackle paint on. So it's fine. I'm going to use the grit paste. I'm using translucent. I also have this spatula-y thing. I don't know what it's called. It's a spatula thing. So I'm just going to take a little glob out. That's probably way more than I need. And I'm going to smoosh it onto this mat. I have no idea how you're supposed to color this. I really don't. I don't know if you're supposed to use re-inker. I don't know if you're supposed to use alcohol ink. I don't know what you're supposed to do because I think I've watched a video, but I did not retain the details. So this is what I do, because it works for me, is I add alcohol ink and hope for the best. So I've added a little alcohol ink to my translucent grit paste, and then I just mix it all together. And that seems to have worked for me so far, so that's what I'm going to keep doing. The only thing I did differently, and I don't know, I guess, let me try it. Lily just came in because she got the makeup in her eye, so she washed it all off and she was in tears. Okay, I'm going to add a couple drops of this oxide spray. Now, I'm using a translucent grit paste, and then I just added in a material, a medium, that is opaque. So that's probably going to change something, but I don't know what. So it's okay. I'm going to go with it. All right. So I did not ink these ones yet. I'll do that here in a minute. So you can do it a couple of ways. This is a few different ways. You can take your little spatula, popsicle stick, spackler thingy, whatever, and just kind of smear it on, right? Kind of get it on there. So you guys can see that. You can do that. Or you can do what I do, and that's use your finger. I kind of like using my finger because I like getting the little peaks and the little texture. Sometimes I do a combo, so a little bit here, a little bit there, and then I try to do a little on the other side. Also, it helps me to not be so heavy-handed. So that will dry. I'm going to set that aside, and then let's get some more. Put it over on this corner. I'm going to go a little heavy, kind of all along this corner, and the other side as well. And maybe a little on the top. Okay. And then this one, go around the top here, a little bit here. Especially because I don't have any stamping down there. Flip it over, a little bit more here and here. I'm running out of edges to put it to dry. Okay, I did not ink this, but where's my dauber? Nope, that's tea dye. That's linen. Gee whiz. Okay, let's do. I don't think I did. Maybe I did ink it. No, I don't remember. Well, just in case. There. Good enough. Okay, do I have more on that side? Okay, running out, so I'm gonna have to use what I got here. A little bit smushed in there. Maybe a little down on this corner and a smidge on this side. Let's do it there. I feel like when it starts to dry, it kind of gets a little crumbly. Maybe it's just me. Okay, this is the one. No, which is the one? This is the one where, yeah, remember I said I didn't do a good job of making sure that the negative, the acetate, the transparency, the little hole, and I said, oh, I'm going to cover it anyway. There, that's why I'm going to cover it. Oops. All right, last little bit. It's getting kind of dry, so smoosh it on there. I guess we'll just do it there and there. I got a lot of other stuff going on with this one, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so that is, okay, I've got them like all on the corners of all my containers here. All right, so I'm going to clean up. How I've been doing that with this, oh, excuse me. Sorry, all my weird noises. It's a baby wipe. I could go to the sink and wash it off, which I probably should, but this has been working just fine for me. So I will call it clean, because any extra grit that's still on it, it just wipes right off. At least that's my experience with this silicone spatula thing. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this away now because I got the grit paste on. I don't want to mix that in with any ink. Try to clean my desk off maybe, and I'm gonna let those dry. Usually, sorry, that was so loud. Okay, usually it only takes, well, it's hard to say because usually I do it and then I walk away. So this morning I made a couple of them and I walked away while I made breakfast. And then same thing with the crackle paint. I just left it dry for, I don't know, an hour or so while I was doing some other stuff. So it doesn't take a super long time, but because I'm done for the day, I'm gonna let them dry overnight. And then tomorrow, actually, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and do one of the crackle paints so you can see how it goes, because then I'm gonna do the rest of them so they can dry and overnight, because that I do think should take a little. Oh no, that's not gonna work because they're not dry. Just kidding. We'll do it in the morning. We'll do the crackle paint tomorrow, because it does take a while to dry. Takes less time, I have found, on the transparency, more time on paper. I think because the paper is porous and it will suck some of that moisture in, so it takes a little longer. So that is what we'll do. We will do the crackle paint tomorrow, wrap it all up. Won't be tomorrow for you guys because it'll just be in a few seconds when I'm back. But for me, I'm gonna go get on with the rest of my night. So I'll be back. So it's the next day and everything has been able to dry. All the grit paste is dried. So now it's just a matter of adding the crackle paste. So I've got them all in front of me. I just wanted to kind of see what I have now. I've noticed that the one with the tissue paper, the tracing paper, it's kind of bendy. So that one really doesn't want to lay flat. The rest of them are doing pretty well. So let's see. So I got some random bits here. Let's get that off. The one with the bug that we tried the glue, that did not work. The glue is kind of almost tacky or sticky. I don't know how to describe it. So I'm trying to think of how I could actually fix that. I thought maybe I could just put some ink over it. I don't know if that'll work. It might be, it is what it is. It was just an experiment that maybe is not worth doing again. So I think I'm actually going to just leave this one alone. The only thing I thought is maybe throwing a little bit of antique linen over it, but I know we tried inking it already. I just want to dull, it's almost a little shiny too. Kind of want to dull that down. I don't think it's going to work. So at least that kind of glue didn't really do anything that I wanted it to. Okay, so there was an experiment. All right, so we're gonna be done with that one. Let's see, these are the ones I already had done. So we set those aside. We're gonna work on these 5. So this is so simple. I'm gonna go ahead and get this painted on and then I'll let it dry and I'll come back and we'll kind of have our final look at it. So this again is crackle paint. It's translucent. Ooh. I still just use this little silicone spatula thing, and that seems to work most of the time just fine for me. So I'm going to then just apply a thin layer over, kind of going to do the picture for sure, and then let it kind of go down and anywhere else really. I don't really think it does a whole lot over the grit paste. So I'm not going to be worried about getting it on or not getting it on there. That's fine by me. So let's see here. And it doesn't have to be over the whole thing. I found that I don't mind that if it doesn't have full coverage over the entire project. So I'm just kind of turning it so I can see any areas where I might either have it too globby or not on at all. That looks pretty good to me. I'm just doing one side. What I would deem as the front. Here, I think I'm going to try to just keep it on the photo on this round one and not go too far into the paper. Let's just try that. See what we think of that. And I guess I'm going to do it on all of them. Same with this one. I think I'm just going to do it on the transparency. A little bit there. Kind of give it a little extra texture. For this one here, probably pulled way more than I needed out. I'll go ahead and do the whole paper. Let's see if I can't get it all the way around. It's got a bit of a shiny. It's shiny when you put it on, so you can see where you're putting it, depending on how you kind of maneuver it in light, or where you're not putting it, I guess. I think that looks good. And then finally our little flower, just a little bit on the photo. Kind of going to go a little lighter on that one because it's already a little bit difficult to see. I don't want it to be overpowering. So just a thin layer on that one. There we go. Okay. That will just clean up with a bit of water, or in my case I've been using a baby wipe, so I'll take care of that in a second here. All right, so these are gonna dry. Not that one, that one's done. These will all dry, and we'll see how long it takes. I'm not really sure if it will be quick or not. So I am gonna clean everything else up, let these dry, and then I'll come back and show you guys what they look like. Meanwhile, I'm not gonna not do some more videos, so I'm gonna do another project. So you'll be seeing me shortly in a different video. This is all weird, and I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. So I'll be back. All right, these are completely dry. It has been pretty much all day. I've been working on other stuff. That's why my desk is a mess. Okay, let's get that out of the way. All right, let's take a look here. See how we did. So some of it's flaking off, but that's probably fine. It may be... Oh, that one is completely coming off. Well, that's weird. Oh no, I forgot to prep them. Boo. I forgot a step. And now I understand why it's important. It's all coming off. So guess what? I forgot to put a layer of collage medium on. So I'm gonna have to go back and do that again. Regardless, it'll look the same. So let's just take a look, and I'll try not to flake it all off, and then I'll have to go back and fix that, because that is a total bummer. Because yeah, as soon as I like bend it, it comes off. And I don't even know if you can really see the crackle. I don't know. I'm gonna try to like move it a bunch of different ways. Maybe there you could kind of see it. Hopefully. It's cool, trust me. Hopefully that's working. Let's see if I can catch some of the light. So hopefully you can kind of see. It is cool. It does work. Oh, it's really cool on the butterfly. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but it's, get that light. It looks cool. It's cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But, yeah, it's probably all gonna flake off. Okay, I will come back and fix that before I add it into the projects. That is a bummer. Okay, so to recap, when you're doing this, especially if you're going to do it on transparency, you also need to put down a layer of collage medium, or I don't know what an equivalent of that would be. I have collage medium, that's what I would do. So any sort of, I guess, transparent glue? I'm not entirely sure that's right. Like Mod Podge? I don't know if that would work. I should try it. I wonder if you could even like rub some glue stick on it. Maybe I'll experiment. Anyway, I'm gonna call it good on this one because I don't want to do all that and film it. Let's just be honest. Either way, they turned out super cool. It's not flaking off the paper. It's just the transparency. So honestly, I could probably let it completely all come off and it would still be cool. Because especially for these ones here, this one and this one have it on the paper. These ones do not, which was an intentional choice. Yeah, it just flakes right off. Look at that. It's completely coming off. And now I've got a big mess. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, for what it's worth, that's easily fixed. We can make it work still. Either way, they're going in my projects. I love them. They're cool. The grunge is neat. It's kind of, I mean, the coloring got a little weird, but it's cool. It's got the grungy stuff stuck to it, whatever it is. Coming off a little bit there, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's cool. All right, I'm going to end it there. So thanks for coming along on this little adventure with me. I had fun. I hope you guys did too. I hope you're inspired to try a little bit more mixed media. Try this, like I said, in, you can do it in a number of different ways. It doesn't have to be bugs, butterflies, flowers, or criminals. So have fun with it. And you'll see these in an upcoming project, and I'll be putting them in case closed, which is why my desk looks the way it does right now. If you can see any of the bits and pieces, I'm in the middle of working on case closed. So you'll be seeing that video. Either you've already seen it or you'll be seeing it. I don't know. Either way, thanks friends for spending some time with me. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that if you like my content. And I'll see you next time. Bye.